You are tuned into the Power Station Energy 100 FM with myself, Elsabi Tibinyani. And of course, it is that time, and I am talking about EconoChat. Let's talk business with Mr. Daniel Steinman. It is week 40. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, Mr. Daniel Steinman, it is week 40 of this very educative, I should say, conversations that we have weekly. And I should rather first say thank you for that. Thank you for doing what you are doing and educating our listeners. Because sometimes, just going on the website and just reading things is not enough. We want that engagement, and that is what you bring to this platform, is that engagement, making the listeners understand clearly and not reading those technical words that they don't understand, that they actually still have to go Google. Yeah. So, Mr. Daniel Steinman, thank you for doing what you are doing.
Elsabi, you are very funny. I'm sure there's a couple listeners who want to knock you with a stick right now.
I am
but
sure
I have to tell you, I really enjoy taking this sometimes complicated things that we talk about and breaking them down.
Yeah.
Really unpacking them so that people can have insight in how it works. And for me, always very important, what it means in your life.
Yeah.
Most people think it's this detached academic discipline. You're only concerned with it at the university. Not so.
Yeah.
It touches you every day.
Every minute of
every
life.
minute of every day.
Yeah. And speaking of us being affected by certain things, and especially the economy, every minute, we talk about the oil prices that has been it's like an explosion going off in regards to our purses. Petrol prices, you never know when it's going up, you never know when it will go down. And just to say that the crude oil prices are going down.
Elsabi?
I've noticed that. So
I almost want to say, Elsabi, don't even talk to me about oil. But let's look at where we stand.
Yeah.
What has been cooking there in the oil market for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you an overview of the last 8 months. So this is from more or less the end of last year. Now, in December 2021, we're talking now about the Brent oil price. Was $68 per barrel. Let me interrupt myself here just for 1 or half a minute.
just to explain Brent oil.
Globally, in the whole world, the whole world's oil is traded in 2 major markets. It is not 100% of all oil production, but it is easily about 85, 86, 87%. So close to 90%. The vast majority of all crude oil is traded in only 2 markets, and that is sort of the Western market, which is the United States, Chicago, New York, but it also includes Mexico, Canada, and then the European market, which includes the Middle East and Africa and the Far East. There are a few renegade or rebel oil producers, Venezuela being one of them, and our dear neighbor Angola being one of them, and praying every night not to be found out. And because then what happens to you is like what happened in Nigeria. The oil companies cause all this nonsense in your country, So let's say the world's oil market runs on 2 trading centers. The one is the Western one in the United States. The other one is the central one in Europe. The one is called WTI, West Texas Intermediate, and that is just one type of oil. And I'll come back to that now. The other one is what we call Brent oil, and it used to be North Sea oil, mostly in the area between the England or the United Kingdom and Finland, the northern parts of Europe. But since the discovery of oil in the Middle East, particularly Saudi Arabia, in the late 1960s, it has become mostly Saudi oil. So 80% of Brent oil is Saudi oil, or Middle East oil at least, but oil from Nigeria, oil from South Sudan, oil from Libya, all these places, they are regarded as European oil, or they fall under that part of the market, and we call them in the trade we call them Brent. So when you look at the quoted oil prices, you see WTI, this is what the oil cost in Texas, or on the markets in New York and Chicago, and you see Brent, and this is what the oil is trading for in London. Now let's take a quick break, and then I explain to you why it is so important to track these two prices and why they're never the same. Most people think crude oil, there's only one, it's a commodity, but it's traded as a future, and I'm going to explain when we carry on what is a future and what is the implication.
Okay, certainly looking forward to that one, and I would like to call it crude oil revision. We'll be back after this.